Today I'm going to talk about Ubuntu operating system. Ubuntu is built on Debian's architecture and infrastructure. Debian is a Linux-based distribution which falls in the Unix-like operating system family. Canonical is the company behind Ubuntu. Canonical works with the open source community to deliver Ubuntu. They provide services to large as well as small enterprises worldwide. They also work with hardware manufacturers like HP, Dell, ARM, and Intel, along with a range of external agencies and suppliers for building Ubuntu. Canonical now has 600 staff in more than 30 countries and offices in London, Boston, Taipei, Montreal, and Shanghai. Large enterprises such as HP, Microsoft, Rackspace, IBM, and Dreamforce provide Ubuntu images in their public cloud infrastructure or run it in their own private and public clouds. Ubuntu is the number one operating system on Amazon Web Services and has been closely involved with OpenStack since the very beginning of the project. We can therefore provide engineering, consultancy, and support expertise with any cloud project. And also, Ubuntu is being run by many US agencies since with the advent of hacking and cyber snooping by many countries. So it is being considered a safe operating system by the government agencies. It follows open source model where the software development people is allowed by people who are encouraged to use free software, study how it works, improve upon it, and distribute it. Initially, it was released on 20th October 2004. The latest release is 14.10 Utopic Unicorn, which was released around 23rd October 2014. There's an interesting way Ubuntu operating systems have been uh, named. The code names of Ubuntu releases come from a combination of an adjective and an animal with the same first letter. Example, saucy salamander. Code names are chosen in an alphabetical order, so you can tell which release is newer from the code names. Ubuntu releases its updates predictably every 6 months and release receives free support for 9 months. Prior to 13.01, it was for 18 months. And the updates have security fixes, high impact bug fixes, and conservative, substantially beneficial, low risk bug fixes as well. Support for each release is for 9 months, and for every fourth release, it becomes a long term support version. An update method is through advanced packaging tool, software updater, Ubuntu Software Center. Platform supported by Ubuntu is IA32, x86, 64, ARM version 7, ARM 64, and Power. For less powerful for less powerful computers, there are other Ubuntu distributions such as X Ubuntu and L Ubuntu. As of version 12.04, Ubuntu supports the ARM architecture. Ubuntu is available on PowerPC and Spark platforms, although these platforms are not officially supported. And the Ubuntu release for 14.04, a PC requires at least 746 MB of RAM and 5 GB of space is recommended. Default user interface for Ubuntu is Unity. It is available in 55 languages. Its marketing targets are smart servers, smartphones, tablet computers, Ubuntu Touch, smart TVs such as Ubuntu TV, and personal computers. Yes, and one more thing. Ubuntu has got a monolithic kernel. Monolithic kernel is an operating system architecture where the entire operating system is working in kernel space and is alone in supervisor mode. The monolithic model differs from other operating system architecture in that it alone defines a high-level virtual interface over computer hardware. A set of primitives or system calls implement all operating system services such as process management, concurrency, and memory management. Device drivers can be added to the kernel as modules. That's it.
So how to install Ubuntu? Ubuntu being open source software can be downloaded directly from the internet in their official website. There are two versions, 64-bit and 32-bit. and you can download from here directly from the website. And there are many ways you can install Ubuntu. You can directly use as a primary OS in your computer, can dual boot with Windows, or you can use a virtual machine to run it. Virtual machine is also an open source software, can be directly downloaded from the website www.vmware.com, and using this you can create a virtual box from which you can run Ubuntu. Welcome. Let me first explain about the different features of Ubuntu. The first feature is obviously the terminal. The terminal is no different from any other terminal found on other Linux based operating systems. So the first question is how to access a terminal. Well, the easiest way is to just go to the dash and type out terminal, and you get a suggestion for the terminal, and just click on it and terminal is launched. And there's a keyboard shortcut too, and it is Ctrl plus Alt plus T. These are some of the terminal commands, and believe me, these are only some of the commands. There are a lot of commands, and it's ranging from easier ones like ls, list directory, to very advanced ones like compression, etc. So you can very much do simple stuff in the command prompt as well as very advanced stuff. You can even set up a firewall using a command prompt. Let me just move the video. Yeah. So you can see all the command prompt references. It's actually not necessary to know all these commands because there's not a complete feature built right into the terminal. So you just have to know a part of the command, and you can hit tab to complete it, auto-complete it. And it's also not necessary to know the functionality of the command because there's a manual built right into the command, the terminal. So the manual for a particular command can be accessed using the MAN keyword and typing out the command you want to know about. So why use the command line interface when you have the flexibility and easiness of a graphical user interface? One main reason why a command line interface is being integrated into Ubuntu is Ubuntu is a Linux based system, and Linux is directly inherited from Unix, and Unix used to support only command line interface back at that time. And with subsequent releases of Ubuntu, the command line interface got even more powerful, and it is faster and more secure. So command line interface is faster because it accepts only commands, and you don't need any special GUI or a layer on top of it. So, and it is faster because it directly interacts with the hardware rather than using the software, and it is secure as in there's a command sudo which elevates the privileges to administrative level. So suppose say I want to delete a file, so I use a prefix sudo to obtain administrative privileges and hence go forth and delete the file. And it is very powerful as you can even start a network using the in a terminal. So Ubuntu's terminal has support for interpreters like Python and R language. So on the left you can see Python directly being coded into the terminal. You just have to use the keyword Python. You can enter into Python coding script. You can start scripting. And on the right you can see R language being implemented using the terminal. From Ubuntu 12.04, there was a new feature added into the Ubuntu ecosystem called lenses and scopes. Lenses and scopes are a special miniature kind of apps built right into the dash of Ubuntu. So say I enter 2 plus 2 in the Ubuntu's dash, it understands, it interprets what the input is, and it knows I'm asking a mathematical question. So the calculator is directly brought into the picture and the answer is displayed into it. And suppose if I enter a city, then I get a relevant information about this particular city. So I get the map of a particular city, the time, the weather, etc. So all these are combined into the dash of Ubuntu, and it is very fast and it's easier to access compared to other apps. The next feature in Ubuntu is workspaces. So workspaces are basically virtual desktops, and you can have any number of virtual desktops in Ubuntu. And the minimum support is 1, and you can extend it up to 8 or even 10. So in this picture there are 4 virtual desktops, and in the first desktop there's a browser and a word pad open, and in the second one there's a game open. So what the virtual desktop does is it separates one virtual desktop from another virtual desktop. So it is like you're working on 2 different computers, but actually you're working on the same computer. So there's a shortcut to switch between workspaces, and it is done using Ctrl Alt and using the arrow keys to move around the workspaces. When you install Ubuntu, you have a lot of pre-installed software in it. These are some of them. So LibreOffice is an alternative to Microsoft Office. It is free, and you can work on Microsoft Office files also, and it has its own extensions too. And there's Mozilla Firefox. So Mozilla Firefox is a browser, and it's based on an open source platform. And then there's Thunderbird. Thunderbird is a email client. It is similar to Outlook in Windows. And there's a transmission client. It is a BitTorrent client directly inbuilt into Ubuntu. So you can directly access BitTorrent the files using this transmission. And there's Ubuntu Software Center, and type out the software you want to install, and you'll get the software. You just have to click install, and the software is directly installed into the computer. You don't have to go through compiling binaries, etc. So it's easier to install through Software Center than downloading binaries and then compiling them.
When compared with these functionalities available between the Windows and the Ubuntu OS, and this is the installation time taken. Ubuntu takes less time when compared between Windows because these functionalities are not available in Ubuntu. And this is a mouse clicks when taken to install Ubuntu along with Windows. Ubuntu takes less mouse clicks. And disk space required. Ubuntu takes less disk space and RAM when compared between Windows. And this is a boot up and shutdown time. Windows marginally takes less time when compared with Ubuntu. And this is the boot time. Ubuntu and Windows almost take equivalently the same time. And this is the input-output testing. This is basically when moving files from USB to hard disk, and this is the seconds taken to transfer the files. And Ubuntu takes less time when compared to Windows. And this is the file systems ext4 and ext3 compared in Ubuntu. And ext4 being the currently latest one, it is more optimized than ext3.
Now, instead of VMware, we can also use VirtualBox, which is developed by Linux. VirtualBox is a free and open source software, but VMware is not an open source software. It comes with a 60-day trial, and after that you have to pay to download. Here is it. It's a free trial package. Now let us talk about security of Ubuntu. We all know that Ubuntu is so secure that it will never get a virus, but in fact it may get a virus. It's primarily because Ubuntu has much more advantage than Windows, because Windows usually runs an administrator. If you run the Windows in administrator mode, you can make many changes, but it's not as in Ubuntu. Security of the Ubuntu, and these are the main features itself. Ubuntu makes it more secure, and user programs run with low privileges, and tools run with temporary admin privileges, and we have much options to encrypt our directories, and Polykit implemented, which means whenever user programs tries to access system commands, it has to access through a root account, and it makes it more secure, and it has a built-in firewall and Ubuntu compiles its package using GCC features such as PAA and buffer overflow protection to harden its software, and performance expense of 1% in 32-bit and 0.01% in 62. Now let us talk about why Ubuntu doesn't catch virus, but Windows does. Basically, because Windows runs in. If you run Windows in administrator mode, you can make much changes. Whereas in Ubuntu, you have to run it in root mode, which gives same power as administrator mode in Windows. But it is basically very difficult to run any program in root mode in Ubuntu, but it's rather very easy to run a system in administrator mode in Windows. That's why Windows catches virus very easily. But there are viruses in Linux and Mac OS softwares, but there are very less in number. Many people don't prefer Ubuntu because there are many applications which are not supported in Ubuntu rather than they're supported in Windows, because it's a major operating system used all over the world. So there's an application called Wine which helps us to run Windows application in Ubuntu, and it can be directly downloaded from their app store. And this is the website. Basically, we have to download Wine app from the Ubuntu app store. And when you want to open any application with a Windows application, you have to right click and open with Wine Windows Program Loader the application, all the Windows applications. And not all applications are supported by Wine in Ubuntu. There are only few applications which are supported. Example: Steam,